G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do something a little different. Obviously you're used to seeing all the install videos we do for all the products that we design and make here in the factory. So today we've got a customer's car in. He sort of approached us and said, look, this is where we want to go with the car and this is our goals for the car, which were 1,000 horsepower, give or take. So eventually we're going to go to a built motor, a built transmission, tail shaft, diff, all that sort of stuff as well. So today we're sort of just going to go through the basics and the introduction as to get to that point in time. So we're going to get the motor out and we're going to safeguard the stock motor at this stage. Head studs, valve springs, oil pump gears, just the very, very basics on how to introduce a Barra into big boost. Eventually we'll go to a built motor, things like that. So at this point in time, what we're going to do is just going to sort of safeguard the stock motor. We're going to go with the bigger turbo, six boost high mount manifold, Borg-Warner turbo. We're going to do a full custom exhaust, stainless steel 4-inch exhaust, custom cooler piping, big Plasman cooler, and heaps of cool stuff like that. So come along for the ride. We'll sort of show you step by step on how we do things and how we operate. So yeah, enjoy the show. Alrighty, so here we are with the engine at the moment. What we've done, we've just taken all the accessories off, sort of getting it ready to pull out, because we need it, obviously, as I said earlier, head studs, valve springs, oil pump gears, little things like that, just to introduce the stock motor into a bit more boost, because these Barras from factory, the valve springs are very, very, very sort of buttery, and they don't like anything sort of over the 300 kilowatt mark. 10 to 15 pound is sort of where they tap out, depending on the model of Barra you got. So we'll rip this thing out. We'll get all the oil pump, head studs, valve springs done in it. We'll do a full service, coolant flush, all that stuff too. And then we're going to put it back in, and then after that we'll get all the new manifolds and all the turbos and stuff like that on too. So we'll get the engine out, we'll get all that stuff done, and then once we do that, we'll sort of move on to the intercooler. We've got a nice big 1,000 horsepower Plasman intercooler to go on. So we'll show a very basic process on how we fit that and get that done. And once we do that, we'll reinstall the engine, get all the piping done, things like that. But we'll show you how we go with that. Is she thick? God damn! Isn't that cooler porn? How good does that look? Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Look at that. My $1,400 sticker comes with a free intercooler. Thanks, Plasman. Alright, so we've got the new, shiny new big cooler all unpacked, ready to go. As you can see, the comparison between the both, there really is no comparison. The length, the height and the thickness of the Plasman is just tenfold better than the other cooler we've got here. Now, there's been some tests on these coolers on the interwebs, and they do actually stand up to a relative amount of power. We've seen them sort of handle 350 sort of kilowatts, give or take. So they're not a shocking cooler if you're just after that really basic power level. Given the customer's request of 1,000 horsepower, we're obviously going to go with a lot better cooler, more so for thermal efficiency, but obviously it'll handle higher boost pressures and stuff like that a lot better as well. So yeah, we'll get the Plasman cooler stuck in, and we'll keep going with it all. Alrighty, so we've got a pretty cool selection of parts that we're going to chuck on this motor. All of these parts we sort of use and really recommend. We've got the flywheel locking bolts, as well as our Mackielec locking plate kit. So that just stops the flywheel bolts from coming loose, which these big bad Barras always tend to do. We've got ourselves a set of boundary oil pump gears for all the RPMs and all the limiter bashing. We've got ourselves a yellow Terra flywheel flex plate, whatever you want to call it. So they're really good, 10mm thick steel. We've had really good success with those. Atomic washers and oversized washers and head studs. So these are all tool steel, really high quality. Anyone that plays with Barras knows Atomic are a big player in the game. Comes with all the instructions, moly lube, all the bits and pieces we need for a good install. We've got Crow cams, valve springs and retainers. These, again, we purely just use these. We've had only good success with these. We run them in our 1400 horsepower shop car, which is a FG Barra, with great success as well. So we know that they're a good bit of kit. We've got a set of 1650cc injectors here. These ones are from Quick Bits. Sticks down at Quick Bits, sorted it out with these, all flow matched and ready to go. So shout out to Sticks, thank you very much. We've got a Mackielec oil feed bracket, so that bolts to the front of the engine. This is just some protective film we've got on it at the moment, so bolt that to the front of the engine and we'll yeah, hold all the things. We've also got our Mackielec PCM relocation kit, which we're going to chuck on too. This is purely aesthetics. There's no performance benefit to this. It's yeah, just designed to remove the PCM out of the engine bay. Well, not out of the engine bay, it just relocates it, so gets it off the strut tower and back onto behind the ABS module there. So it just makes the engine bay look a little bit neater. And the big boys, got a couple of lumpy sticks here. Big shout out to TBRE Performance. Tony down there hooked us up with a good set of TBRE cams. So we're going to chuck these in too, as per customer request. He likes the lumpy lump, so we thought we'd give him some. So yeah, thanks Tony. We'll start getting stuck straight into it, and yeah, follow along, have a bit of fun. so as you can see today we've finished up. We've got all the rocket gear off, we've got all the timing gear off. Haven't quite touched the sump yet, but tomorrow we'll crack straight into the sump, get the oil pump off. We'll get the new gears in. We've got to check all the clearances for that, make sure they're within spec. Also, a thing to note with these cam tunnels is sometimes you'll see a little bit of scoring. Very, very light scoring. If you run your fingernail across them and your fingernail gets caught, it's probably something that you want to get checked out. We're very lucky today. This engine's really, really good. Got no scoring. Run your fingernail along them, nothing gets caught. So they're all Mickey Mouse, all ready to go. Another thing to note is these cam tunnels and cam caps aren't interchangeable between engines. So if you do happen to break a cam cap or anything like that, you can't just grab another cam cap off another engine and chuck it on. They are all tunnel honed to suit each specific engine. Also, the cam cap orientation is very specific. You know, the left goes on the left, the right goes on the right, etc., etc. So bear in mind, if you ever do this yourself, keep those cam caps all orientated correctly, so you don't have any dramas, because if you do put them backwards, you can burn out cams and start having dramas, things like that. But yeah, we're very lucky. We've got fresh tunnels, we've got no scoring or anything, so yeah, we'll crack straight into the valve springs tomorrow. As I said, head studs are good to go, we've got no issues there. We'll get the oil pump off, as I said, and we'll keep going with it all. So tune in for the next episode and we'll get all that done.